99,998 of them have been asked by Israelis about the foreign policy that the president has pursued. But if you look at the standing of the United States in the community of nations today, if you look at what people around the world think about the United States, if you look at the extent to which the United States is looked to, it is in a very, very different place than it was 2 or 3 years ago. So I believe that history will judge President Obama's term to date very well. I believe that history will look back on 8 years of the Obama presidency with very substantial admiration as one of those periods when America got back on track and renewed itself. And I'm proud to have had a very small part in working with him.
Will you give us the benefit of trying to get to know something on the personal level of what you learned to know about the man, and more importantly, about what drives him? Was there an instant, a situation, an example, a decision that you had to make together in which you could, understand and ascertain this is what drives this guy, this is what made him the President of the United States?
In one of the first meetings that the economic team had with him, we spoke about a variety of issues: the program of fiscal expansion, the program with respect to restoring financial stability. We went on for a little while, and he listened to us, and then he said, look, I want to change the ground rules of this discussion, and I want to change them for this discussion, and I want to change them going forward. I want you guys to tell me what the right thing to do for the economy is. Don't tell me what you think will pass the Congress. Don't tell me what you think I want to hear. Don't tell me what you think will be the best for my political position as president. Tell me in your best judgment what the right thing to do is. We may not always be able to do it precisely, but we're going to come as close to my judgment of what the right thing to do is as we possibly can. And that seems to me to be the kind of leader that seemed to me at the time to be the kind of leader that I want to work with. And he continued by saying something else that isn't the kind of thing that many politicians around the world say. He said, I want to be a 2-term president. I very much want to be a 2-term president. But I would much rather be a 1-term president who did the right thing than be a 2-term president who did the expedient thing. And that tells me a lot, too, about what drives him.
And you pointed to the suspicion some Israelis have, certainly our Prime Minister has, as to where Barack Obama stands vis-a-vis Israel. Is there something that Mr. Netanyahu is missing? Is there something that he just doesn't understand when he sits in front of Barack Obama and discusses with him the future of this area?
I am fond of being provocative and making striking statements. It seems to me that coming to Israel and analyzing the thinking of an Israeli prime minister before an Israeli audience is probably something that even I would be best off. Would be best off avoiding.
But you will admit that the question was fair.
I'll leave to others the judgment of the question is fair. I will say one thing at some peril. I have many friends. The people I think of as my best friends are the people who, from time to time, say things to me that I very much do not want to hear. The people who I think of as my best friends are people who sometimes frustrate me by standing in the way of the impulses that I feel. The people who are my best friends orient themselves towards my long-term interests rather than towards my short-term desires. And I think that's an aspect that's useful to ponder when one considers friendship.
You did find a delicate way to put it. Last question, Professor Summers. Do you miss politics?
Well, you know, it's a little complicated that you put it that way. I have returned to the university. When I went to serve President Obama, I said to him that I would claim only one distinction for myself within those who served in his administration. And that was that coming from the presidency of Harvard, I felt that I was the only one who was coming to Washington to get out of politics. I've heard there's some of the same in Israeli universities as well.
There's something.
I would miss it if I didn't feel that I had an opportunity to be very involved in the major issues of the day. But as somebody who's spent much of his life as a scholar and as a thinker, I think there are many ways to be involved in the issues of the day. And one enormously satisfying one was the kind of opportunities that I've had to serve in the U.S. government. And the other is the ability to speak more freely, perhaps more clearly and with less inhibition to the issues that one has as a hopefully reasonably well-connected private citizen.
And I'm delighted that we had the opportunity to listen. Professor Summers, thank you very much.
Thank you.